Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Shabbat Shalom.
Get dunked on. Oh man, we got Ryan good with that one.
I told you there was going to be a sweeper.
I know. I
He
told him
didn't tell me that.
specifically there wouldn't be a
Pat
super.
told me there wasn't.
Oh, nice.
He got
Okay.
lost.
Everyone,
Alright.
Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to the 4-3 show
You
here
really
on
just-
BlazeRadioOnline.com.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Ryan Blake. I'm alongside Parker Dunn, Pat Fortuna, and Dominic Stern. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
I can't complain. I can't complain. I won't lie to you. It looks like I'm looking at you guys on my computer screen. I am not. I am watching the Red Sox dominate the ALCS, but I will put this away for the show. I'm in a good mood. Very good mood.
Yeah. Me too.
Life is good.
I'm doing well. That's not because of my baseball team.
Yeah, same.
Hey, it's okay, buddy. All right, gentlemen. First thing we're going to talk about tonight, NBA starts this week. First off, we finally get two sports to enjoy.
There's literally two
That
sports.
ends with baseball coming to a close at the end of the month.
Because there's literally two sports on
I
right now.
know. And
NHL.
trust me, this is the
Yeah,
best part
there's
about
actually
baseball
three
season.
sports on right now.
Okay, I'm not a big hockey guy. You guys know this.
Okay, it's still a major sport.
Yeah.
It is.
It's
It is.
4 sports on starting tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. You're about to have all
We're gonna
four
have.
major
We're gonna
sports.
have.
We'll finally have two sports to watch, he says.
Hey, what's
Joke.
baseball? Is?
Joke. Yeah, then you're gonna have three.
I'm not a big hockey guy. You guys know this.
Still
But all right. Okay. Oh, hockey doesn't really come into my mind. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but hey, NBA starts. Let's do our season predictions like we do every year. And the award that we're going to start with is MVP. Parker, you've had your predictions set in stone for a long time.
I have.
Start it off.
It stems from last year, and it's Steph Curry. He should have won it last year. He didn't win it because the team didn't have a good enough record. Blah 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 blah. We know NBA teams win it, all that stuff, factor in more than any other league, and literally not even close. I mean, you look back to like the old days in the '60s when you had Wilt Chamberlain versus Bill Russell. Wilt could blow him out of the water statistically, but it wouldn't matter because Bill was a part of a better team that would go on to win a championship. That was the case with that decision last year. I see that changing because it's the better Warriors team. There's more depth. If Clay can get healthy, when they're thinking he'll come back around January, hopefully early on in January at that, since December 25th was the first date that they were hoping he'd come back. This is a team they can win when he's not on the court, but when he does get on the court, they're going to be a really good team. They're going to be really hard to beat. The way I look at this team right now is they play like a 5th seed when he's not there, and when he does get there, they'll play like the 1 seed. Put the two together, 3 seed at average. That's enough to get MVP with what he's going to put up.
Pat, over to you.
Sorry, Parker talked so long I forgot the question. What was it?
Who's your NBA MVP for this season?
Oh, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I did not prepare these ahead of time. But if I was a predicting man, Durant season, Kevin Durant, he's got to carry this team without Kyrie Irving. So, well, he does have James Harden on the team, which isn't anything to poo-poo. But if he comes back and he plays at his highest level, that he is poised to make an MVP run.
Dom, over to you.
How about I'm gonna roll with it. Let's go with LeBron James. Okay, listen,
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
He's one of the goats. He's gonna play for the Lakers, who have rebuilt their team. They're gonna be healthier this year after not having that shortened off season following a trip to the finals, and then the shortened off season compared to normal years. So I think LeBron's gonna come back a little healthier, to be in better shape. He's normally not getting this long of an off season. I think LeBron James is going to win NBA MVP.
All right. My pick was going to be Steph Curry, but I want to be different from Parker. So I'm going to say this year's Joel Embiid. He had he was a top 3 candidate last
You
year.
picked a Sixer. I'm sorry. I'm gonna clown you. Do you have an NBA team, Ryan?
Suns.
Okay.
Thanks, Bobby. Come on, that was funny.
Do you own one piece of Suns merchandise?
Yes, I do.
No way.
Yeah, I have a Suns Hawaiian shirt.
Oh yeah, that you got for free at Taylor Fest.
I also have a Suns hat.
I also have that shirt.
I also have a Suns hat.
Oh, okay.
I do 3.
What?
I said I do 3.
Yeah. Same Hawaiian shirt. That's a baller shirt. I wore that to opening day.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. I think it's going to be Joel Embiid. Last year he was so close to winning it. He was on top of this despite missing over 20 games. And I think that this year he's going to do the same thing he's had to do, which is carry that offense because Ben Simmons still can't shoot the ball. And that whole drama surrounding the team with him is still there. So I think it's going to be Joel Embiid. Next up, Rookie of the Year. Parker, over to you.
So this is one where there's a lot of good guys. It's a really talented class. But the two names that have come up are number 1 and 2, respectively, which is Cade Cunningham, followed by Jalen Green. It's really a toss-up. The way I look at it is I think Cade Cunningham is going to put up better numbers. To compare it, it could be like Anthony Edwards. While he didn't win it, LaMelo did, and rightfully so, I say. I think that he's going to put up good numbers, kind of like he did, but they're going to be so good that they're going to ultimately give him the nod because, well, I think Jalen Green's on a slightly better team, also in a rebuilding mode. They're going to win some more games, so you can look at it from that perspective. But at the end of the day, MVP is the award where they really take into account a team's success. This is not one of those awards where they do that the same kind of way. So I think that ultimately stats are going to play a bigger factor. So when he puts up better numbers, even if it's not that efficient, kind of like Edwards as well, I think he gets the nod.
Cade Cunningham is on the Pistons. Jalen Green is not. That's all I have to say about that. In case I wasn't clear, I'm picking Jalen Green.
Dom.
What about Jalen Suggs of the Orlando Magic?
Okay.
Suggs.
You know, the Magic, they're right on the edge of like being a potential playoff team. And I think that if Suggs has a good year for them and then pushes them up near that race, I think that he could be a very good candidate.
I'm also going to go with Jalen Green. I think that Jalen Green arguably could have been the number 1 pick. He's one of the. I think he was the top prospect, so I think he's going to ball out, and I think he's going to take home Rookie of the Year this year. Next up, 6th Man of the Year. Parker, I know that you see a Warrior either winning this or Most Improved Player.
That's the thing, and that's what makes this interesting because I'll get to most improved player. But I do have Jordan Clarkson winning this one. It's his award to lose. The way I look at it is with how he's transformed his game since going to Utah. I mean, we saw him when he was with the Lakers. He was still trying to find himself. Now he's with Utah. He's a legit guy coming off the bench. He's really good. He averaged, I believe, 18 points per game last year or something in that range. He's a really good player. I feel like he's going to go back-to-back the way Lou Williams did. He's clearly the best bench player in the league. I don't think there's an argument for a player that's better than him coming off the bench. And I'd be shocked if he didn't win it, at least, because there's some other good guys. I don't think they stack up the same way that he does.
So right now he's a starter, but I'm hoping something happens before the season. I'm gonna say Marcus Smart because I love him coming off the bench, and I think it's a freaking crime that he's never won 6th Man of the Year award because he's one of the most productive players off the bench that this league has ever seen. So if he doesn't start, I'm gonna go with Marcus Smart.
If he does start, who do you have?
I don't know.
Throw a name out.
I don't know who doesn't start that's good.
Who doesn't start that's good?
OJ Anunoby.
Eric Gordon's pretty good.
Oh, Eric Gordon, that's a good pick.
He's
Yeah, Eric Gordon.
always in there. I think he was mine last year, actually.
Yeah.
But
Eric
he's one of
Gordon.
those guys. I'm trying to think. Chris Boucher's another good guy at Toronto.
No.
Yeah,
Eric Gordon.
ask for good guys.
No, stop Parker. You
Okay,
idiot.
he's got Aaron Gordon or Marcus Smart. Dom, over to you.
What about Tyler Hero, of the Miami Heat? We've seen him struggle last year. He's going to be coming off the bench this year.
Is he?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, 100%. That's a good
And
pick.
we saw him have some very strong preseason performances. So I'm going to go with Tyler Hero, the bucket from Kentucky. Rhyme, but that's cool.
Sure. I'm going to agree with Parker on this one. I'm going to go with Jordan Clarkson. I think it is his award to lose. Last year, it was Ingles who got it, but I think that Jordan Clarkson is going to end up taking it this year. He was so
Jordan
productive.
Clarkson got it last year.
Was it Clarkson last
It
year?
was
or was it-
Clarkson. It was Clarkson.
Oh, I flipped it. Okay. My bad.
You're good.
I'm still going to go with Clarkson. I think that-
Wrong. Wrong.
Yes, I was wrong. But I'm still going with Clarkson this year. He's been extremely productive for the Jazz off the bench, and especially with Mike Conley coming back after re-signing. I still think he's going to be that guy to lead that second unit. So I'm going to go with Jordan Clarkson. Next up, Parker, this is where you will pick a Warrior Most Improved Player.
Yeah, and it's always difficult. I don't want to pick two guys from the same team for these awards. I like to, split it up a little bit amongst the league. but I will kill myself. Okay, that's a bold statement. I would kick myself, is what I meant to say. I'd kick myself if I didn't pick him and he does ball out the way I think he is going to. And that's Jordan, or not Jordan Clarkson. That's Jordan Poole, the other Jordan on this list. There's two of them. He's a guy that's slowly progressed, guy out of Michigan. I like the pick. We got him at 28 in the first round. He's gotten better every single year, and really last year was where we saw the biggest leap because his rookie year he bounced back and forth from the G League squad and then Santa Cruz to the Warriors. There was no consistency. He couldn't find his deep ball shot. He's found it. He was emerging last year. It was a really bad bench that we had. He was one of the only bright spots that we had, and the reason why he's going to be most improved player and not bench player, sixth man of the year, is because of the fact that he is, in all likelihood, everything indicates he's going to start in Clay's shooting guard position until, of course, Clay gets back, and then he'll get kicked to the bench. It's a pretty even split for the season, so you can't have him as sixth man of the year. He could still definitely win it should he not get the nod for most improved player, but I think it just makes a little bit more sense logically to give him this award instead because of the fact that he's going to start and people are going to see what he can do when he's getting starting minutes.
Pat,
Most improved player is always a tough one because like they usually come out of nowhere. It's kind of like you don't know who's going to be the most improved player they are. I think the next guy's pick would be like Cameron Payne of the Phoenix Suns. He's going to get some reasonable minutes. He's still a Sun, right?
Yep.
yeah, he's son. Yeah, he's still son.
He's going to get some pretty good minutes this year, and it'll be interesting to see if he can turn those minutes into meaningful minutes. Work his way up to potentially even the sixth man on this roster. We might see DeAndre Ayton leave the Suns at some point this year after failing to reach an extension. He might get traded. So we'll see what happens.
Over to you.
I go with former Aztec Malachi Flynn.
Oh!
Malachi Flynn. What do you mean who? First round draft pick was the point guard for the team when they only lost 2
I
games.
don't know about that one, Kimosabi.
Fred VanVleet, he's gone.
Yes, thank God.
I think Malachi Flynn is going to step up, be the starting point guard. He only averaged 7.5 points per game last year in very limited playing time. He can shoot, he can get to the hoop, he can ball distribute. I think Malachi Flynn is your most improved player.
VanVleet is still on the Raptors.
Okay,
is.
Kyle Lowry is gone.
Boom, boom, boom.
There, Kyle Lowry's gone. Whatever.
Yeah, it's not a duet, right?
Kyle Lowry's gone. I knew one of their guards was gone.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to agree with Parker again and go with Jordan Poole. I think that
Real
last
party.
last year when you saw him get some meaningful minutes, he really balled out towards the end of the season. He had 38 points in the game, and he showed that what his potential was after being drafted in late first round. So I think he's going to continue to grow, and I think he's going to become a prominent player on this team, especially without playing for the first roughly half of the season. So I'm going to go with Jordan Poole.
You have no creativity, Ryan.
I mean, this is the kind of kid who probably like got a coloring book when he was young, and you would like color the whole thing red. He didn't have cognitive ability to take multiple colors. And,
It was actually the color green.
oh,
It was the color green.
I was just going with the Chiefs colors. Right, look, you look at Rod. I like the Chiefs. That's my little Ryan voice.
Next up, let's go to Defensive Player of the Year.
This is a tougher one because, again, like I said, I like to split it up between other teams. Otherwise, I would love to say that Draymond could be one of those guys, but I have Bam Adebayo instead. He's really similar. What he does on the court defensively is probably the most similar, I would say, to Draymond, because while he's technically their center, I view him as more of a power forward. He's more dominant. He can play that position so well. And what makes Bam so good, he's super versatile. He can guard most positions. I would probably say what makes him different from Draymond is he caps out as far as what he can guard. I would say he's a better perimeter defender. He can do more in the paint. He can't guard guys up at the top of the key though. So I would say that he can guard the positions 3 through 5 with pretty relative ease. I would say we've seen what he can do when they were in the bubble and they went on that finals run. Bam Adebayo was a monster. He was everywhere. We saw that block he had on Tatum. He is that guy. So I think that there's a ton of guys I can think of. Anthony Davis was another one that came to mind. I think the award is kind of transitioning more towards big men and the value they bring defensively with rim protection. I think that he has a little bit more to go with it. So I think that that's a pretty good pick.
Yeah, my pick was Bam as well.
Pat, over to you.
Taco Fall.
Let's go.
Usually this new team is going to get more minutes. Taco Fall.
You know, I wanted to pick Bam Adebayo because I thought he should have won it last year, but I don't want to become non-creative. So I'm going to go with Matisse Thybulle. I think that he's proven to be a terrific defensive player for the 76ers.
Not going to lie to you, I'm shocked you pronounced that correctly.
Do you just think I'm stupid?
No, I don't. But I'm shocked you pronounced that correctly.
So I really think that he's going to continue to be that
Matisse
defensive
Thybulle.
unit for them. So,
You're so soft. I'm not sticking with your pick.
you know,
Wait for Bam to win this award.
I think Bam is going to win it, but I don't need to hear Pat tell me I'm not creative. So I'm going to say
Technically, Dom was the one who called you not creative first.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't throw it on him when he also said that.
Oh my! Sorry, Scooby said solo home run. I
Wow.
told you I'd shut him off.
on a school night?
On a school night!
I don't let him for not turning it off.
No, you should turn it off.
Put him in the cart, baby.
All right, going on to our last award position. It's going to be Coach of the Year.
Oh, I come with you.
Rob, we'll swing it to you then.
Thanks.
On the fly.
Let's go with Doc Rivers, honestly. I think the 76ers. What do you mean, what? What if the 76ers get the 1 seed in the East? After Ben
No
Simmons.
chance.
After, well, I said, what if? What if they do? What if
No, I
they,
hear you, but don't put that bad juju out into the universe.
okay. But what if they do after Ben Simmons basically held out the entire offseason after they're a second round once again, failing to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals? What if they're the 1 seed? I think Doc Rivers gets it.
Yeah,
Go for it.
Ime Udoka.
I knew you were going to say that.
You know why? Because this is a resurgence year for the Boston Celtics. And I'm trying to straight face. We're going to be better than ever this year. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, going to be legendary. The Time Lord, going to be legendary.
Time Lord.
Marcus Smart, going to be legendary. Al Horford, going to be legendary. So we are back.
Parker, over to you.
This is a tougher one because it was between two, and they're both Eastern Conference. It was between Nate McMillan of the Atlanta Hawks. I
Please
think
don't
that
take my pick.
that's a team that's on the rise. But no, I'm not going to. I actually tweeted out my.
Ryan just said that, so it didn't seem like he didn't have a pick beforehand.
No, I've had my pick.
Okay.
So like I said, I was tweeting my playoff seeding predictions, and I actually had the Bucks at 2, but I meant to put Miami at 2 because I see a lot of good in this Miami team. I like the moves they made, so I'm going to go with Eric Spoelstra. I think that he's always been one of those really good coaches. I'd like to say he's on the more underrated side because after LeBron left, I feel like people forgot that he still got them to the playoffs with a very minimal roster. He's got a ton of talent now this year. He has the last 2 years, but they brought in Kyle Lowry. I think that this team's going to have a ton of success. They're going to go on a finals run. So I think that he's going to get it this year.
I'm going Nate McMillan. I think that last year you saw what he did with the team after he took over, after they ended up getting rid of Lloyd Pierce. Really, the beginning stages of the season. And then Nate McMillan really led them to the best record in the NBA once he took over. So I think this is kind of his award to lose in his first full season as head coach. So I'm going to go with him. Pat, you mentioned it earlier. I want to hear everyone's takes on the Suns not giving DeAndre Ayton an extension.
Who cares?
I mean, you said
Hey man, this lifelong Suns fan over here really cares.
Hey, you got to respect it. My opinions on it are so it was him and Sexton. They also didn't get their extensions that they're hoping for, making both of them free agents, restricted free agents at least for the offseason. I think that he's a guy that he definitely helped his stock with the finals run. The thing that kind of hurt, ironically enough, in that finals run was the finals. He was pretty non-existent. He was terrible. There were stretches where he couldn't do anything offensively. He couldn't make anything. He wasn't aggressive. That's always been kind of the whole knock on DeAndre Ayton at this next level in the NBA, and that's been his aggressiveness, his ability to get to the hoop, absorb contact, and finish. And that was something that he started to show in those first couple rounds in the playoffs against the Lakers, then against the Nuggets, and then in the conference finals against the Clippers. And then it really took a step back, and that had to have had some sort of impact on the Suns not being willing to give him a contract. We saw that Mikal Bridges got a 4-year $90 I think that's going to be one of the best contracts in the league. Give it 2 years, and that's going to look really good because money gets thrown around like candy in the NBA. It has been for years now. So I think that that's a good contract. But the DeAndre Ayton one, while it's not ideal, I think if you're a Suns fan, you don't hit the panic button. It's not the end of the world because he wants that big money, and I just simply don't think he's really worthy of it. There's only so many centers that are worth that kind of money. Joel Embiid, Jokic come to mind because the center position is not one that is proven you need it to win nowadays. It's simply just not, the value's not there anymore. So I would not give him max money. So I think
Yeah.
that sounds good.
Well, that's the thing is DeAndre Ayton, yeah, he wants a max contract. He's not worth that. He can get another center of his caliber for half that money, a quarter of that money,
Mhm.
quite honestly. So, yes, he was part of a finals roster. Yes, he was the number 1 overall pick. Yes, his name is DeAndre Ayton, and he's kind of been a big deal to the Suns organization. He was kind of the spark that started to turn him around. He was his draft pick was a turning point. That doesn't necessarily mean he's been the best player on their team. That doesn't necessarily mean that he is why there. But he sparked, or that point in time sparked a new era for the Suns. So I think he overvalues himself in that sense. However, that's not to say I don't think he's worth any money, and he's a very good center. And I would gladly take him off the Celtics on my team. But I wouldn't take him for a max contract at all.
Dom, do you have anything you want to say about it?
Don't care.
I agree with both of you. I don't think he should have gotten the max extension that he wanted. I don't think he has played like a number 1 pick. I think that he does very well in replaceable areas in pick and roll situations. And I don't think that the Suns should overspend for that. So I think it's the right move for them to see what he can do in this year. You know what? If he goes off this year and proves that he can do it all, then yes, that's the point where you say, okay, it's fine. We'll give you that max deal now.
I don't know, man. The max deal is a lot of money in the NBA.
It is. It is.
If you look up the names of players who have max deals, that's elite territory.
That
That
is
is
territory.
DeAndre's name in there would stick out like a sore thumb.
Like
That's fair.
I'm a
That's fair.
huge believer in guys getting money because look, the NBA, there's a lot of money to be given out. So like people should not be surprised when an average player gets 15, 20 million. They shouldn't be surprised because that's just the way the league is nowadays. That's just the reality of it. But DeAndre Ayton has not proven that he's worthy of that. That's a different kind of category that he's not capable of as of right now.
All right. That's going to end our NBA talk for this week. We're going to go to a quick break here on BlazeRadioOnline.com. When we come back, we will get into week 6 of the NFL season.
Blaze's Golden Road Show is your one-stop spot for all the latest news in baseball. With your hosts, Donald Stern, Will Bradley, and Ryan Blake were all teachers in high school, so you know we love a good strikeout. To talk about all those, it's you already know, Blaze's Don Dunn and Joey Allen's least favorite baseball show. Tune in from 10 to 11 every Monday for all the latest news and debates in baseball.
Buffalo were 4th and 3rd, so the Titans just beat Buffalo.
Yeah, no. That's why I picked him, baby. I knew they could.
Derek was 7 yards short,
Touchdown was 8 yards short.
but he did have an extra touchdown on top of it.
Oh, your mic's back on. We're back on.
All right, we're back on the 4th of the show. Let's get into week 6 of the NFL season. Monday Night Football is about to wrap up with the Tennessee Titans upsetting the Buffalo Bills. The Bills went for on 4th and 1 at the Titans' 3-yard line and did not get it. So let's get into team performances of the week. Don, let's start with you.
Well, let's talk about the Cowboys because they've gone on the road now. They're now 5-1. They went on the road and beat the Patriots, who have looked solid.
Yeah.
They aren't a good team. They aren't like a great team,
Well,
but they haven't looked bad.
They played to the level of their opponents, but just
Right.
right around there.
Like, they only have one really bad loss, which was to the Saints. So I thought you saw the Cowboys go on the road and win a high-scoring game, which they haven't really done so far this year. And I was impressed once again. The defense, it's solid, but it goes well with a good offense, and they're able to find another way to win. They're now 5-1. I've been impressed by the Cowboys.
This is surprise of the week that we're talking about.
Well, I said team performances first, but we can do surprise performance. That's fine with me.
Oh no!
Well, I didn't give a surprise.
Well, I thought it was performance things that impressed you.
Yeah, we talked about the Cowboys. Surprise and top performances from your perspective, and you did the Cowboys. Over to you, Pat.
Well, I can just talk about my team. This team is a few plays away from 5-1, which I mean you can't say that about every team. So, like Dom and I, we kind of get them when we're like, well, you can say that about any team. That's not necessarily true. Like every loss we've had is, except for the Saints, was one possession, one and a half possessions. So it's kind of sad to watch us go 2-4. After 6 weeks, because this team has endless potential, and I think we'll be okay going forward. But right now, it kind of hurts. Mac Jones. I finally stopped hating on Mac Jones. You know this. I said that after the Titans game.
Who's Mac Jones?
McCorkle, my bad.
There you go.
I did admit this after the Titans game, or not the Titans game, the Buccaneers game. Sorry, the Titans just won. I'm in Titan territory right now. Go Titans for the Bills. Yeah, I sound a little sad right now. I had higher hopes for this team. I haven't quite given up yet, but it's going to be a whole lot harder to make a wild card now than when we won this game.
Parker, over to you.
We're still on surprise performances, right? It's really hard to tell right now.
I don't know. We're just kind of talking.
No,
Talk about whatever. You can talk about your team.
surprise
Talk about
performance.
surprise
You guys-
performance. I don't
Okay,
listen.
I'll do a 2 for 1. So just
Go
quickly,
right ahead.
I'll touch upon both of them rather quickly. Quickly because I don't want to keep talking about the Broncos because they look really bad. So I'll start with them since I just met they look. They just got beat at the line of scrimmage, and the secondary on paper was incredible. They're not playing like it. They're so far from it. There's guys that are getting burnt left and right. Kyle Fuller, oh my goodness, is he been a disappointment. And this is something that we weren't on the 4-3 show last week, so I couldn't express that part. But man, was he bad? Like he just can't pick apart. Quarterbacks are looking his way every single time, and I can't blame him. He's not looking like he did in Chicago. It's completely different, and the defense is not performing the way it needs to. Doesn't help. Alexander Johnson's now out for the year. Same injuries, Josie Jewell. But this is not talk about injuries and how it pulled us back, because that was the fraud bowl. That's what it was called by me. That's what it was called by a lot of people. And between us and the Raiders, 2 teams that started out hot, 3-0, lost back-to-back, and then we lost that one. That one really proved to me. That was the final thing we needed to see to know that this team was not as legit as I had originally thought coming into the year, and it's looking really bad right now. They could maybe turn around. I'm not going to rule that out. That would take a little more time to get to that point, but it looks really rough right now. As far as another surprise game, it's not even a surprise. It really doesn't meet the criteria for it. But man, just a sad one. And it's the Lions, man. That was my bold prediction for the week. I was feeling it, and it's not me going up against Cincy. I like what they've done so far this year. They've done some really good things. The defense looks pretty good. Joe Burrow's looking pretty good, and they're a good team right now. They're 4-2. Good for them. Bengals fans, they've had some rough years in the past, so they deserve it. But that was a game where I just felt for the Lions because the way they had lost back-to-back games on those game-winning field goals, one of which set an NFL record, that's so painful. Because I remember freshman year in the dorms watching the exact same thing happen to Denver, and it was so painful. But theirs are so much worse than ours ever were because these ones were so much longer. Like I remember the one against the Jaguars was pretty much a chip shot. The one against the Bears, like 51 yards. But my God, 66 yards and 54 yards. That's tough. So I feel for them. I feel for Dan Campbell. He seems like a really cool head coach. I was comparing him to Joe Judge when we were watching the games on Sunday. He seems like a really likable guy you'd want to play for and run through a wall for. But,
Except Joe Judge is the complete opposite of that.
That's what I'm saying. Dan Campbell
Yeah,
is that
yeah,
guy, and Joe Judge is just a psychopath.
Stinks.
But Dan Campbell's a likable guy. Seeing him in the presser shows he really cares. A lot of head coaches, obviously, they care, because their job's on the line. But it just seemed a little different with his reaction. So I feel for Lions fans. They deserve better.
All right. I'm going to go with this.
They do. They've been through a lot, man.
Do that.
They deserve one.
People of Detroit deserve better. The city of
Okay,
Detroit is
that may be fine, but
Right.
that franchise just doesn't do anything right. So, all right, I'm going to go into a couple of surprise performances. I want to talk about the Chargers game. What a game from the Ravens. It's funny. The 3 running backs that they have on their roster who were not on the team at the start of the season, well, preseason, I should say, they all scored. Le'Veon Bell, Devonta Freeman, Latavius Murray. All those guys scored a touchdown. So they have really done a great job of forming their offense around their identity, which is running the football. And that's the name of the game for them. They are just so good at it. So that was a terrific performance from them. The defense made it hard for Herbert all game long. And it was nice to see the Chargers lose. So good game by the Ravens. The other one I want to talk about is the Cardinals. They were without their head coach and their best pass rusher, and they went into Cleveland and dominated the Browns. I know the Browns are banged up, and they have been, but still, that was a terrific performance from Kyler Murray in front of the Cardinals team. And then, lastly, the Jaguars ended their 20-game losing streak. I don't know how, but they did. So congrats to them on finally getting a win. The first win of the Urban Meyer era. Too bad it's only going to be 1 year. But let me go into my team real
You don't
quick.
think he's gonna get extended? What?
Urban.
Did I miss something?
That silly guy.
I don't know, man. Urban Meyer and success are synonymous.
At the college level, yes.
No, I meant the NFL. That's what I said.
All right, I'm going to get into the Chiefs real quick. Feels good to win a game. I'll say that. But the second half just showed what the Chiefs team could be. But that first half was just pitiful. Insanely pitiful. What was that pick from Mahomes? That's the second time he has tried to make a play when he's getting sacked. Just take the sack. Like, it's not that difficult. It was
that's
still
a good
a field goal
throw.
range, too. Dom, you have the mic, you have something to say?
No, I was just moving it. But another thing,
He was
imagine
gonna say that was a good throw.
no, imagine losing to an NFC East team this week.
Shut up.
It's gotta be a
But-
rough feeling.
It is.
But the offense looked great in the second half. They got the ball downfield. The defense pitched a shutout in the second half. First time that they have not let a team get above 29 points this season and held a team below 300 yards of total offense. So the defense looked really good. The Chiefs did get banged up, though. One of my favorite players, Jody Fortson, tore his Achilles, which
I always think you're gonna say my mom's name, dude.
I know you do.
My mother's name is Jody Fortuna, for those of you who are curious. Jody Fortson.
It's very similar.
I was so sad when he went down because you just saw his ankle give out, and then it just looked like it was Achilles. I didn't think it was knee. I thought it was more going to be Achilles, and that's what it was. But Mahomes looked good in the second half. Had 2 guys touchdowns. One to Hill, who got his head out of his butt after having
Nice
2
guy.
straight weeks
Should have said it.
with a wide open
Really
pass
hammer the point
go
across.
off of his hands for an interception. So I'm happy with the Chiefs' performance in the second half. 3-3. Now they travel to Tennessee coming off of a big win next week, so that'll be a big game. So I'm excited for that, but feels good to see the Chiefs win, and they looked really good in the second half. Dom, do you want to talk about your team real quick?
The Rams showed why they're a top 5 team in the NFL. Just absolutely decimated the New York Giants going on the road for an East Coast game. Now they get the Lions this week. They're going to be 6-1.
All right. Looking at this week, this upcoming week, let's take a look at our standings. Dom,
Okay, so after I haven't updated them since the Monday night game, but Pat was the only person on the Titans, of course, because he loves the Titans and he's going to pick against the Bills every time. So
yes, that's correct.
I had a rough week, only went 500. I am now 48-30. Pat is 41-37.
Hey, he's above 500.
He is. Pat had a solid week.
Rock
Good job,
roll,
Pat.
baby.
Parker, you are now 54-24, and Ryan, you are 52-26.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby.
Tough week.
Parker, I'm going for that top spot, buddy.
No, you're not.
I'm only 2 games back, okay? I'm going to get that spot for you. All right, let's start it off.
Classic Ryan.
Thursday night game.
Delusion.
Come on, I'm not a Mets fan. I'm not a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, look at the Mets, baby. Let's go Mets.
What about the Mets?
Let's go Mets, baby. Home run. Let's go. Let's go Mets.
All right, first game of the week. Broncos travel to Cleveland for Thursday night.
This is an awful game to pick because
Yes.
you're looking at a much better Browns team, but their 2 running backs are hurt. Baker Mayfield's hurt. Their offensive line is hurt. Their defense has been blistered the last 2 weeks. And you've got Denver, who's lost 3 straight, hasn't looked good in any of the losses. So I'm just gonna roll with the Browns because I don't know. My girlfriend likes the Browns and she's sitting across from me, so I'm gonna take the Browns.
Shout out Brooklyn.
I agree. Shout out Brooklyn.
Pat,
Yeah, you're right. This game sucks. Wow, I will not be watching this one. Sorry, Parker.
No, you don't have to say sorry. I already know what I'm doing.
You're gonna take the Browns?
Yeah, I'm taking the Browns.
You're just doing that to spite your team? Fine, I'll take the Broncos.
Nice logic. Yeah, no, I'm taking the Browns. It's a really gross game between two gross-looking teams right now. But Browns are at home, and I think they have a little more to offer. And hey, it's a Case Keenum revenge game. Who would have thought we'd have?
Well, maybe Baker said he's gonna try and play.
I
Yeah.
don't think he's going to. I think Case is he'll still beat us.
And Case Keenum has led more teams to an NFC championship than Baker Mayfield has. Also more AFC championships or NFC championships than who's your quarterback? Lock, Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater at the moment.
No idea.
More than both of them, regardless.
Right. Exactly. All of them combined.
Baker's never played in the NFC, so I'm not sure how that would have been possible.
Yeah, well, I'm just
You're just putting out facts. You're throwing facts into the realm.
wait, you just shut up, Pat. That never happens. Yeah, stay quiet over there. I'm gonna go with the Broncos in this one. I'm gonna take the Broncos. I just think with how banged up the Browns are,
Ryan does not know the war he just waged.
What?
He just told me to stay quiet. He doesn't know the war he just waged.
Okay.
I am gonna take the Browns because I'm at the Broncos. I'm taking the Broncos because of how banged up the Browns
Don't
are.
put the same team.
You don't know if Baker's playing. Their top 2 running backs are out. So I think that's going to have a major effect on this team. And I think that the Broncos are going to come away with Thursday night victory. Next up, moving on to the Sunday morning games. Chiefs traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans.
So I'm gonna take your Chiefs here, even though the Titans just beat the Buffalo Bills. Patrick Mahomes played a much better second half. The defense showed some improvements here, and I think we're gonna see a more reflection of the good Chiefs and the bad Chiefs, and the good Chiefs very rarely lose.
Pat, we know you're picking the Titans.
Yeah, you're darn tootin'. I'm taking the Titans.
Parker, over to you.
This is such a hard game. It really is because these two teams were doing things really well, obviously. With the Chiefs, it's Mahomes and what he can do. With the Titans, it's that run game, Derrick Henry, who's just an absolute monster, made in the lab. Well, because I know that Julio, he went out with a hamstring late in that game, and that's a big loss. But A.J. Brown is back. Getting those two back this week proved to be just that important. You know what? I had the Titans circled in originally when I did this weeks ago, so I guess I'll stick with it, but really there's not too much logic outside of that.
I'm going to pick the Chiefs in this one. And
Of course you are.
okay, you
Ryan,
cannot
we know
talk.
you're picking the Chiefs.
You cannot talk. You're the one that picks the Patriots every week and picks against the Bills every week.
Yeah, I don't
do not want
have
to.
to. I don't have to be an unbiased journalist.
Let me explain why I'm
Neither
picking the
do we.
Chiefs. I think this game is going to be a shootout.
Crockett tells you to do.
I think this game is going to be a shootout. And looking at it, I think that if the Chiefs defense plays like they did in the second half, they are more likely to get a stop than that horrible secondary of the Titans that got banged up losing Caleb Farley today.
Chiefs can't talk about
So
Right.
Hey, it looked better once. What's the safety?
Tyrann Matthew.
No,
Juan
not
Thornhill.
Yeah, Juan Thornhill started playing over Daniel Sorensen.
Yeah, that should have happened weeks ago. So I'm happy with the defensive changes they made. And Ben Neiman was not starting that game, so I'm very happy. But hopefully Anthony Hitchens is not out because that means Neiman would be the single caller, and I do not trust that man with anything. So I'm going to take the Chiefs in this one. I think that what you saw from Patrick Mahomes in the second half is what you're going to see from him against a weak secondary in the Titans. So I'm going to take the Chiefs in this one, but I think it's going to be a really close game. Next up, Washington travels to Green Bay to take on the Packers.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Packers. The Packers have looked very solid. Washington football team, their defense, It's proven to be one of the biggest fraudulent units in the league. A lot of people, including myself, thought they were going to be really good coming into the year, and that just hasn't been the case. I'm going to take Green Bay.
Sorry, all I can hear outside right now is Nick Modell, and it's just in my ear.
Well, you can put your headphones on and you don't have to listen to it.
No, I didn't even get the headphones on. I just had to take them off to see if it was actually Nick Modell. It's still here clearly. Football team. Give me the football team. Say it with me, everybody. WFT. WFT.
Parker, over to you.
I'm gonna go with the Packers on Washington. They had the best opportunity ever. And I was saying this because not like anyone cares about fantasy, but it's a funny story. So just bear with me here. I picked up Adam Humphries because my receiving core is beyond depleted. I mean, I just said Adam Humphries, so you know it is, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't have had him.
Who? Who asked?
I didn't ask.
Nobody cares about your fantasy team.
So that's why I gave a disclaimer. That's what disclaimer is.
Right.
Um,
Right. I'm on Team Parker here.
Oh no, I'm just mocking Dom. I'm all for it.
So,
Watch your mouth, Ryan.
What's your mouth,
I
Pat?
had to pick up
We'll
Humphries.
go right now.
Yeah, let's go.
This
Pause your
was-
pick. Hold on. You really want to do this right now?
It's great radio.
This is good radio. You wonder why you have your back every week. Well, he starts laughing because he gets scared. He knows I'll fight him live on air.
Do it. Do it.
What?
They're actually fighting.
Okay, so this is a great chance. So what I was
Sit down, boy.
saying is I had to pick him up, and I'm like, okay, against the Chiefs defense, this is the best chance he will ever have for a career high, and he finished with -0.4. So I lost. So tough.
Ryan
season.
literally just this is snot out of me after blowing my nose.
The football team's offense was very disappointing, and the defense, we know that they've been fraudulent as well. So Packers on this one.
If anyone is listening to Taylor Mall right now, there's nothing going on in the Bill Austin video studio.
Are you okay out there, Pat?
Dude, Pat, I can hear
Blowing my
you.
nose, brother.
I can hear you blowing your nose in the headphones. So that means everyone who's listening to the show.
What's the game number?
You already picked the football team.
Okay, I'm gonna take the Packers in this one. They've looked really good since their loss to the Saints, so I'm gonna take them in this one over Washington, who has just been disappointing this entire season.
Catch my breath.
I can't believe that happened.
Next up, Bengals Ravens, the two top teams in the North.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough one because they're both coming off like a win that they'd have to like fight too hard for, which is kind of shocking.
Again,
Considering.
the Bengals played the Lions.
Yes,
That's something you have to take into account.
right, but it's
Glad
shocking from Baltimore's standpoint. But I'm gonna take the Ravens here. I think they're a little bit more battle tested in terms of beating good teams than the Ravens are, or than the Bengals are. So I'm gonna take the Ravens here.
The Bengals. Go Tigers.
I'm gonna pick the Ravens on this one. Like I said, I mentioned Cincy. I like what they've done so far this year, but the Ravens, they came off of one of the most dominant wins by any team this season so far. So I like what they've done so far.
I'm gonna take the Ravens in this one. I think that a huge win over the Chargers this week is going to propel them, especially that defense that played really well. I think they're going to be able to make Burrow uncomfortable. They're going to be able to stop Mixon. So I think that I'm going to take the Ravens in this one to defeat the Bengals. Next up, Panthers travel to MetLife.
I'm going to take the Giants actually in this game. Carolina offense looks horrible, and I think the Giants are going to be hungry for a win, and I think they're going to find it right here.
I don't think the Giants are hungry enough for anything to get it. So I'm going to take the Panthers in this one.
Yeah, these are two teams don't look too hot right now. I mean, the Giants, there wasn't really any hype, but after the start the Panthers had, there was a little bit. You had to take it with a grain of salt, of course, but I'm still going to go with the Panthers. Both teams have pretty defenses. Young defense is on the come up. I like the Panthers a little bit more for that sake. And, Sam Darnold has looked rough, but if you can just not look quite as rough, then I think their defense does enough.
This is such a tough game to pick because Sam Darnold has looked horrible the past 3 weeks. And you're also seeing a very banged up Carolina team as well on both sides of the ball. So it's tough, but I'm still going to go with the Panthers. Despite Darnold not playing well, they took Minnesota to OT and nearly beat them. So I'm going to go with the Panthers in this one. Next up, Falcons coming off their bye week. They travel to Miami to take on a very disappointing Dolphins team.
Yeah, I'm going to take Atlanta here. It's very effed up that Miami is playing the week after they went to London. I'm pretty sure this is like the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, there's always a bye.
So
Should be.
they're gonna have to withstand a 5-hour time difference between Sundays and play against a team coming off their bye.
Yeah, I did the math. Yeah, it is 5 hours.
Because I know it's 8 hours from California.
Right.
So awful for Miami. I'm gonna take Atlanta here.
That's cool. And I also just don't want to pick the Dolphins because they're in my division. So yeah. Take Atlanta.
Yeah, I figured you might say that. It's weird.
I
Originally,
partner. I'm sure I might say that.
because
I'm an unbiased reporter. Watch your mouth. Ball around you coming up.
Round 2, I throw you through the door, so you might not want to try it.
so
We'll call it a draw.
Originally, I had the Dolphins. I was coming into the year when I had a little bit more hope for this team. That hope has gone out the door. I don't have any hope in the Falcons, of course, but they do look a little bit better right now. The Dolphins are in turmoil, so I'm going to go with Atlanta.
I'm taking Atlanta in this one. The Dolphins are just so disappointing. And who knows if they'll even have Xavier Howard or Byron Jones. So I'm going to take the Falcons in this one, coming off their bye. Next up, Jets Patriots.
Patriots.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. Duh.
Patriots.
I mean, look, it's a 2-4 versus a 1-4, but like these are two drastically different teams.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm going to take the Patriots just because they've been close with.
No, don't take my team.
He's not allowed to.
Not
Been
allowed. I'm
vetoed.
gatekeeping the Patriots.
I'm picking the Patriots, Pat, whether you
Fine.
like it or not.
Fine.
Next up, Eagles
No, I kind
Raiders.
of hope the Jets win.
No, you don't.
No, you
That'd be humiliating.
Eagles Raiders.
I'm gonna take the Eagles coming off Thursday Night Football. They got a mini bye, and the Raiders are gonna be coming down from altitude. And I really just think that they won against a team that was just so depleted, and when they're actually gonna like have to prepare for a healthy team. Lane Johnson's coming back. I think the Eagles win this one.
Say it with me. The Raiders.
Yeah,
Take the Raiders.
I'm gonna go with the Raiders too. This Eagles team, they're interesting. They're so hard to get a read on. I mean, I guess you could say the exact same thing for the Raiders. Their records are flipped, win and loss wise, but the Raiders, not like home field advantage means much for them being in Vegas, being it's the biggest tourist attraction stadium in the whole NFL. But I do think that ultimately they're going to win this game. Derek Carr's looked pretty good this year. I think he keeps it going, and they get past Philly.
Oh, I hate this game. I really do. Give me the Eagles. I take the upset here.
Let's go.
Well, I just think that the Raiders are set for a letdown after a big win. So give me the Eagles. Lions, Rams.
Rams.
You know what?
He's not
Feeling
gonna-
quirky this week.
Oh no!
You go line.
I was feeling
And
that
this
way
is why
last
Pat
week.
is gonna get lost.
I was feeling that way last week, and
There's no way they lose 6 straight, right?
it's tough.
They already have.
They've lost 10 straight.
No way they lose more than that, right?
Usually I have a philosophy with teams I consider to be division losers at the bottom, to just be teams you just don't touch, and when they win every couple games every once in a while, you just live with it. I didn't do that last week. I'm not making that mistake again. So
You gotta win eventually.
and this is a very different team they're playing as well. Rams are definitely
Jared Goff revenge game.
It's a Matthew
It's
Stafford.
Stafford
event.
gets to
No,
play.
And Matthew Stafford
No,
is going to
Pat,
light up that
Pat,
defense.
Matthew Stafford gets to play against the team that held him down for so long. He's
going
going
light
to-
them up.
See, it's more.
It's in Detroit?
It's
No.
it's
That's
in-
the thing.
it's
That's the
in
thing.
LA.
So it's more pure revenge for Stafford because he went through awful things in Detroit, but it's technically more revenge game for Goff because although he didn't play in that stadium, he did play in LA.
Right.
I'm taking the Rams. I think Stafford's going to light up that.
Stafford's gonna, Stafford. Goff is gonna walk into SoFi and say, "I play in Detroit now."
All right. Next up, Bears Bucks.
I'm gonna rock with the Bucks.
Yeah, you gotta go around with Tom Brady.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bucks. The Bears actually beat them last year in a shocking game.
They did. That game hard to watch.
But
Thursday Night Football at home though.
I don't see them doing that again. Tampa's the better team. They'll win this game.
Mini bye for the Buccaneers. So give me the Bucks in this one over a Bears team that just isn't that good. Like that offensive line is atrocious. So give me the Bucks in this one. Next up, Texans Cardinals and Arizona.
I mean, Cardinals are gonna be 7-0.
Um,
Pat.
You know how
Don't
bad I
do it.
want to do it, but
Don't do it.
I had a really good week this week. I can't jeopardize that. Cardinals are gonna be 7-0.
Yep, Cardinals are winning this game. If they don't, this would just be the weirdest of games to lose a 6-0 undefeated season to.
I'm going to take the Cardinals.
All right, my gut's telling me that
No, Pat, no.
Yeah, you can.
Texans.
Pat,
Trap
Pat,
You have a nice ring to it. It might be a trap game.
Pat.
I mean,
three,
if you're gonna
2, 1, who's your pick?
Texans.
They're
Oh,
overlooking their
no.
opponents.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. The Cardinals are looking at this as a
he
5.
already picked the 16.5 point underdog Lions. So
Okay.
It's a college spread.
So
Been a lot
3 of us
this
have the
year.
Cardinals, and then Pat has the Texans.
Game I'm gonna make up.
Okay, buddy. Next up, Sunday night, Colts travel to take on the 49ers.
I'm gonna take the Colts. They've looked good the past couple of weeks, looking more like the Colts team we expected. I think the 49ers are gonna start slow. Bye week leading into a primetime game. I think they're gonna be super rested, almost too rested. They're gonna come out slow and they're not gonna be able to overcome it.
Sorry, I missed the game we're picking.
Colts Niners.
Colts, Niners.
You picked the Colts?
Good.
Come on, dog. It's a bad pick.
Okay.
I've never made a bad pick before.
That's you.
I haven't even looked at the spread for the Arizona game that you just picked.
What? He doesn't miss. Niners.
I'm gonna go with the Colts here. Niners.
What?
The Niners don't look impressive. Kittle's on IR. Debo's been great, but it's just I don't see enough from this team.
Guys,
to
I
make
make some
it.
bad picks, but this is out of you guys. This is shocking.
They're
Colts
both
team looks a
2
lot better.
teams.
This Colts
Pat-
team has looked a lot better as of late.
I guess that's true.
I agree. I'm taking the Colts. I think they've looked better than the Niners, so I'm going to go with Indianapolis to get their 3rd win of the season. Last game, Monday night, Saints travel to Seattle to take on the Seahawks.
You're gonna take the Saints. You can kind of go with the same logic here. Saints coming off their bye, playing in a primetime game, but I think that when you look at it, the Seahawks, Geno Smith's their quarterback. He didn't look terrible, but I just have very little belief in that offense. So I'm gonna rock with the Saints. Who dat?
Ben Roethlisberger beat the Seahawks last week or this week, but
Did.
you know we trust, man. Give me the Seahawks.
Parker?
Sorry, I kind of blanked out there. I'm gonna be picking the Saints. This is not a great game on paper for excitement level, but all the primetime games have been pretty good this year. I've been really satisfied. So this is a game between 2 pretty mediocre teams. So maybe it turns out pretty excitingly. I don't know, but I'm gonna take Jameis and the Saints. Yeah, I just made that up. Boom.
I'm
Throw it in
going
the
to
dictionary.
take the Saints. They're
So we
coming
all
off their
the
bye.
Saints.
They're going to be rested, so give me the Saints in this one.
Cool.
No, I think the Seahawks.
Yeah, you did.
Insane.
So-
we trust.
Ladies and gentlemen, if the standings were to stay the same, we already have a punishment picked out for Mr. Fortuna. He hates minions.
More than anything.
More than anything. So his punishment is he has to dress up as a minion for a whole day.
Great.
For a whole day?
A whole day.
Can't wait.
Okay. All right. Well, there's a lot of pressure on me considering that I'm at the bottom of the standings right now besides Pat. Would you guys believe me if I said I'm only 7 games in front of Pat?
Oh my god.
Don't have to dress up as a Dodgers fan for the whole day.
Oh!
Yep, that's Dom's
Yeah.
punishment. Dodgers fan for the entire day.
Ryan, you'd have to get a tattoo and
Oh my god.
So much worse than the other two.
Ryan will all throw your Raiders gear for the day, and Parker, I don't know what you just like.
Lakers gear.
Actually, Vegas.
Giants
Not-
gear.
not-
Giants gear.
That's what I have, the facilities to give me Vegas gear, so probably Giants gear.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Giants gear it is.
Parker's just so nonchalant about everything. It's hard to be like, wow.
No, that's major.
No, I know. Like Ryan's a passionate hater.
See, I'm just more.
You're more like, these guys freaking stink.
I don't know about that, but I'm just
We
not
should
like
look more
Right. All right, Raiders tattoo. Ryan comes in last.
No. Well, I'm not coming in last, so.
Well, if you do. All right, with that confidence, he'll get a Raiders tattoo if you come in last.
No, I will not.
Uh,
I'm not wagering that.
Fine.
Pat, how about this?
Hmm?
You get a tattoo.
If I come in last, dude, I picked the freaking Texans this week. I'm not gonna commit to that.
Well, that's your fault for being stupid.
No, that's a good pick. Just you wait.
I-
Arizona who? This is good dead air, Ryan. It's really tight ship you run here.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. I'm kind of at shock with how stupid you are sometimes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I was about to say, Ryan, you have very little room to talk there.
Really?
Yes.
Explain.
And I've watched you.
That guy won't get a tattoo.
I've watched you do math.
What math?
When we had to do Alex freshman year.
Oh, that was the
Ryan's like,
worst
how many
thing ever.
games back in the AFC West are we? 1, 2. It's a lot.
No, it's not. It's one game.
It's a lot of games.
I've read your texts before.
No, I just have fat fingers. Okay,
He
that's
seems
the
like a
difference.
boomer.
That's okay.
Fat fingers.
No,
I
that's
gotta
not
just
the
say,
reason.
I
That's
gotta
because
just say
I
I
have
have
fat
fat
fingers.
fingers on air.
That's the reason. Okay, let's not get misconstrued with that here.
But you just admitted you had fat fingers on the radio, Ryan.
I'll show the camera right now on my computer. Look at these things. They're sausage links.
They're absolute meat hooks.
Oh,
We'll talk
God.
after the show, Ryan.
About what? Oh, do you want round 2 after the show?
No, not with those fingers. Good night, everybody.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for the 4-3 show tonight. We'll be back next week. Have a great rest of your week.